When I'm out in the snow, my hands and feet are always the first things to get cold. But luckily last time we've solved the cold hands because we knit some cozy mittens, and this time we are going to be focusing on making some warm wool socks. I've never knit socks with such thick yarn, and I kind of hope that I'll be able to fit into my winter boots once I make them. And I don't even know where to start in terms of designing them, so let's go to my crafting table and let's see what inspiration we can pull from to get these started. When it comes to designing these socks, I decided to use this book as my inspiration. I've used this last year to knit the Craftmas sweater then, and this one has a few sock designs. Like this one, I have previously also knit the sweater, and this is the matching socks for that, which I have not yet made. And there are also these socks with lovely color work as well as this pair. And this is the pair that caught my eye the most. And when I looked at this pattern, the gauge is actually nearly exactly the same as the gauge that I have. My gauge is maybe slightly bigger, so I decided to try to knit this pattern, changing the color work to match my color work on my sweater, and going down a needle size to try to hit a little bit better gauge. So let's get started knitting that. The only thing is this pattern calls for the top portion to be knit flat, and I wasn't really sure that I wanted to knit these socks flat. I like knitting my socks in the round. We've converted this pattern to knitting in the round, so I've done the cuff now, the top 3 inches in the round, and now it's time to get to the color work that I designed earlier. And I'm wondering if I should do it in the round or flat now that I'm at it, because the nice thing about doing it flat is it's easy to do in tarsia. And I've left pretty long floats between the two patterns, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't explicitly state it in the original vintage pattern, but I'm pretty sure that's why they have you knit it flat. Or I can just carry the floats and keep knitting in the round. Decisions. It's nice. I have a nice for them going in the round, so I think I'm going to keep going in the round. Just weave in the I can't speak. I will wrap the long floats or I'll catch them. This is the progress that we've made, and I am now about to head on a more than 12-hour car ride to go to my parents' place, so I'm hoping that I can get some of this knitting done. So let's go to the car. I wasn't able to film a ton more when we were driving because the sun was setting and it's hard to hold up a phone and try to knit at the same time in the car, but here is the progress on the sock so far. I ended up only doing one repeat at the top because I realized that I like this height of sock better. At least at this moment. We'll see what I think when I actually wear it. And I wanted to do a contrast heel and toe, so we're gonna do that in the red color. That's kind of how I'm pulling in the red color. Of course, when I'm wearing them inside my boots, you won't see it, but I still think it's a really nice, cute contrast detail. I think you can also tell that because I didn't do intarsia and instead I looped in the colors, you can see, because it's such a dark background color to a light foreground color, I tried my best to hide it, but I do think you get a little bit of that coming through. But overall, I still think that the pattern is the thing that stands out the most. So I'm just going to finish the length of this foot. You're basically supposed to knit until you are 2 inches from how long you want the sock to be, and then you form the toe. So the toe is also going to be in the contrast color. So I'm gonna keep knitting this. The sun is going down. I'll do my best to keep it as light as possible, but it might be a little darker when you see the rest of this sock complete. And we're not just doing socks in this video, so just because this is done doesn't mean this video is over. So stick around, but let's finish the sock first. Here is the complete sock. You might see that it looks maybe a little odd. It's very wide at the top and it goes quite more narrow. It's almost like a stocking. When I put it on, you'll see that it does fit a little strangely up at the top, but the foot fits me really well. And I do like that I did the contrast colors at the heel and the toe. I do have to knit a matching sock, but before I do that, I think that I want to fix my mitten, so let's go take a look at that. If you didn't watch my last Craftmas video, then you might not have seen, but I did knit 2 mittens. Here is the second one that I knit, but I didn't finish it. It doesn't have a thumb because I accidentally knit 2 left mittens, so I need to move this thumb to this side. And you might be wondering exactly how I'm going to do that. And the first step is I'm actually going to take a needle and put it in my stitches down here as kind of my lifeline. I'm going to unravel this side down to there. I'm going to cut a thread here and also unravel down to there. So let's go ahead and unravel so that we can re-knit this section correctly. Okay, so now I have unpicked my work back to the last row that was correct. We have all basically the guts of the knitting, so these are all going to have to be re-knit into the correct pattern up to where the thumb hole is. This time though, I have to remember to switch where the pattern is. So I'm not going to film this because it's probably going to be a little bit fiddly, but we'll see you when I have fixed this portion. After re-knitting all of those threads, this is what my right mitten looks like. You can see that the color work at the bottom is now opposite to the one on the left, which is exactly how it should be as we're setting up for the thumb. You do have to worry about the tension a little bit, that's the main issue, but now we also want to sew up that left side. I wove in the stitches, kind of trying to do a duplicate stitch. I accidentally did some purl stitches in there rather than knit stitches. I was considering going back to fix it, but because this is on my palm and I'm really the only one that's ever going to notice it, I decided to just leave it as is and then finally knit the right thumb. So now we actually have a matching pair of mittens, one for the left hand, one for the right hand, instead of 2 left mittens. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and we can go back now to see how our progress is on these socks. So as you can see that when the socks are on my feet, they fit me quite well. I can even wear a double layer of socks, which I often like to do when I'm outside in the cold to keep my toes nice and warm. You can also see that I haven't finished the second sock in this pair, so I definitely still need to work on that. But so far I am really enjoying how these socks turned out. I hope you enjoyed watching this as well, and we are not yet done, so feel free to subscribe if you want to see the rest of this ensemble come together. Thanks for watching. Bye.